So it looks like you have a fugitive case. Oh, you picked up three cases. You picked up a fraudulent use of ID, less than 5 items. You picked up a theft case, and you have an out-of-state fugitive case.
One of them has been dismissed, Judge. The fraudulent use of items has
Saw
been
that.
dismissed. So technically, he's only got the theft pending and the fugitive case pending.
Mr. Kim, enlighten us.
Your Honor, this defendant is wanted out of Broward County, Florida for felony theft. The state would be opposed to a bond. There are 47 cycles of criminal history in the past 5 years alone, and these are just convictions.
47 pages of criminal history in 5 years?
47 cycles, Your Honor. For pages, it is 46 pages of criminal history, including, well, the California one's old, so I'm not going to count that one, but just in the last 5 years alone, and these are just.
They were not 47 in the last 5 years.
Hey, don't talk. I mean, we're just trying to, the thing is, Mr. Jones, is I have a very limited amount of time to try to get to know you. Everyone that comes in front of me tells me it's gumdrops and rainbows and little bunnies jumping in the woods. But the way I really get to know you is the paper, because that tells me who you are, right? If you're a dangerous person, if you're a person that I'm going to let go and you're going to continue with the criminality, I have enough trouble sleeping as it is. I don't want more blood on my hands. I don't want something else that's going to keep me up at night. So that's why. Well, but this is how we get to know you. And he's telling me you got 46 pages of criminal history.
Your Honor, in the past 2 years, he's had 3 failure to appears of multiple cases. He's had 2 habitation trespass convictions, a DWLI, prostitution, battery, criminal damage, failure to appear, possession of drugs, felony, obviously, resisting. But in the 21 some odd years, it's the 47 cycles of different offenses, and I just stopped scrolling after 2020.
How many failure to appears do we have?
3, Your Honor. And this one itself is a no-show, or according to the transmission.
Hey, John, could I say something?
Sure.
Okay, with the one he talking about with the failure to appear, I feel that was nonsense because of the simple fact that I flew from Fort Lauderdale up here after they said I had a warrant, and I went to court a couple of days before that. And is that documented, sir? You can see that?
Judge, I will say this. He did explain that
How
to
old are you,
me.
Mr. Jones?
I'm 40 years old, sir.
You're 40.
Yes, sir.
How many cases has he picked up in total?
That he's been charged with. If you give me 10 minutes, I can count them, but it's not low. I mean, I can start from 2004.
So theoretically, for every year you've been born, you've had a case.
I have a
You're
question.
40 years old, and you
Sir.
have around 46 pages of criminal history. So literally for every year you've been born, you've like picked up a case. And not only that, you've got multiple failures to
Sometimes you don't think the jurisdiction will fail me?
Huh?
You don't think the jurisdiction will fail me?
But the problem is, at some point, your actions become your own. You now have with us, you've picked up a theft case here in Harris County. You've got an open case in another jurisdiction. You've got pages upon pages. So at what point is it on you?
When you pay your debt to society, why do they keep using it against you? I pay my debt to society for
Because
those
it continues.
fires, okay?
Continues to happen. At some
Okay.
point, DAs are like, jail just doesn't work anymore. So that's when we got to go to prison, because this dude,
But prison don't help guys. That don't make them better. That make them worse. Instead of tormenting them and sending them and feeding them to the wolves, y'all should sit down with that person to find out what's going on to help that person. Instead of prison not helping nobody, prison is not.
I can't tell you how many stories I have read of people who get degrees, college degrees, even become a lawyer while they're in prison. So if you want it to help, then it will. But you got to want it. If you
One better than me, Your Honor.
If you
But
have-
you know the sad thing about it is, in the state of Florida with me, and that's why I left. Something happened, and I have a conflict of interest against the police. So now they're juggling at me every chance that they get. But it's crazy. He's saying I have a warrant, and I flew from there after that warrant was pro se. Pro se that they said I have. I flew from Fort Lauderdale all the way to Houston, flew back down there, and flew back. And they said I have a warrant, and I flew and went to court for another charge down there.
I don't get it.
And I went inside
I
the
don't know.
court.
I don't know how that happened, but it's not supposed to. You know,
So who's the system failing? If I have a warrant, you mean to tell me they're gonna let me in their courtroom, attend to my judge, see my judge, everything, and let me go, and let me get back on the plane to fly back here? Mind you, I flew from here and flew back down there. They let me do all of this with a warrant?
I can't explain that. I can't.
Judge,
So that's the system failing somewhere, somehow. That's not me.
let me talk to the judge real fast.
But Mr. Jones, if you have this woe is me attitude, it's never going to change. It's
Y'all not
never going to
helping.
change.
Y'all not helping. It's not helping. Y'all not helping society. Y'all always blaming me and this and that and the other. Prime example, he said, oh, he got prices from here. And he went to call the stuff off that he said, well, only stopping from 2022, and he going past 2022. And I'm like, yo, but hey, but that's what the prosecutor do. He just doing his job.
Right. That's what he's doing.
Judge, if I may, a couple points. First, if he's finished up the cases that he has had in his history, he's had a history. Okay, he's had a history. If he's paid his debt to society, like he says, if he's completed what he needs to do for those cases, that really shouldn't be relevant here. I would argue that in front of you, this is his first time being in front of you, right? And it looks bad that he has a criminal history. Yes, I get that. But if we were to just focus on whether or not he knew about this case, he's telling me he got on a flight, came over here, and it's a great question. If that happened, he would have had a warrant pending and he would have been arrested.
When
So,
was the warrant issued? Do you know?
March 3rd, 2025, but because it's a domestic flight, and obviously I don't work for TSA, I don't work for Department of Homeland Security.
Now the defense attorney steps in with an important point. The warrant for Mr. Jones was issued less than a month ago, which means he hasn't been running from the law for years like it might sound. If he really did travel and appear in court recently, that could seriously weaken the argument that he's intentionally avoiding justice.
Just got issued.
just March 3rd, 2025, Judge.
Your warrant was just issued in March of this year. So
And I
about
flew
30 days ago, it got issued.
and I flew March 10th back up here.
So Judge, if that's the case, it hasn't been like he's been missing his responsibilities with
And
this
I went to
case.
court. And
It's
you can-
less than a month.
And you can
that
also
he's had
see
this
that I
warrant
went to
pending.
court. I went to court before March 3rd.
That's why it's a failure to appear, which is.
How? I went to court. I went to court before then.
Judge, the warrant has
I was
been
in the
issued
courtroom.
we're at April 1st, less than a month. And so it's not like he's been running. If the warrant's just been issued on March 3rd, I would ask that we afford this man an opportunity to make this right. He hasn't messed up in your eyes. Yeah, he's messed up in the past, but as far as the fugitive case is concerned, I'm asking for an opportunity for him to go to the demanding jurisdiction. And then if he messes up, okay, well, I don't have much to say after that. But just throwing his history out there, it doesn't mean he doesn't deserve a chance.
I stand by the no bond. He has assaultive history as well, and it shows in the message that we received from Florida is that he has violent tendencies, obviously reflected by the assaultive history, along with and I don't have to go ad nauseum, but the significant criminal history that he has.
When were the FTAs? How long ago?
The most recent failure to appears, one moment, Judge. There's one from May 4th, 2023. There's one from December 7th, 2023. There's one from.
But it's
December
not on this
7th.
case, though. Those are separate cases. We're not talking about on this case, are we?
To be clear, it's not on this case, but.
Obviously not on this case.
Okay.
But the problem is that it keeps happening, and I can't continue to.
Sir, it's not keep happening, sir. Sir, this warrant that he said, sir, I went to court. I'm gonna be honest with you. I have another open case, and that open case is why I flew back down there. Went to court, finished court, They said I have a warrant. I go to the warrant district. They said I have no warrant. Leave the warrant district, get on the plane to fly back up here. And they said I had a warrant before I even flew on the plane back down there. So how could I fly?
Mr. Jones, even if I were to set you a bond.
Okay, no problem. Hey, take me back there, man. Can't about this shit, man.
Easy money. There you go.
So for the second one, we're going to be, well, actually, it's going to be Ricardo's request, but
Yeah, Judge, on the,
If you want me to take it off, I will.
yeah, on the second one, let's take it off. I'm concerned about HIPAA stuff and,
Ask them to bring it back.
yes, Judge.
Vic, you want to go through the list?
Yes, Judge. Oh, that's sorry. No, my person is,
Mr. Nelson has a warrant out of Florida. He did have a local case that was resolved this morning.
Just dismissed. Yeah, today.
Yeah, it was, actually, I think.
Or no, I get, he
Sir.
pled. Right, okay.
He played on that. He previously had signed a waiver 7 days ago, I think, but
March
He-
31st.
Hmm?
March 31st.
March 31st.
Oh, yesterday.
Last Friday. But anyway, his value of time is probably exaggerated. He has a warrant for Florida. He's been picked up on this before in Tennessee, and they didn't extradite him from Tennessee. They released him after 3 days. He's back in jail here in Texas now, obviously, for the same charge out of Florida, and he is a cancer patient, and he's wanting you to grant him a PR bond so he can go back to Florida.
That's where I was heading.
Really?
Yeah, it was.
Oh, it just so happened that you
No, sir.
you got a failure ID as well.
But that's, the failure ID was, they pulled a gun on the guy they were looking for, and I was at the crosswalk. I wasn't there. They weren't stopping me. They stopped another guy. They were waiting for 3 days or whatever to get him. And then yes, sir.
It doesn't matter.
This is not our first time being here on this case, Amy,
He's previously had a fugitive case in Tennessee for this.
for this same charge.
Well, just a fugitive case in general. I can't say what.
So that was in Tennessee. Now he's one out of Florida.
No. He had this exact same proceeding in Tennessee.
Meaning he was a fugitive in Tennessee because of Florida.
Yes, he was incarcerated in Tennessee and had a hold on him from Florida. They chose not to extradite him at that particular time, and he was released 3 or 4 days there.
How long ago was that?
How long ago was that, sir?
5, 6 years ago.
And after 5 to 6 years ago, you still haven't taken care of the case.
That was during pre-COVID, and we were coming back from Michigan, and we were on our way down, and we stopped in Tennessee. I started working at the hotel, and they came in and they said, out of the clear blue, looks like you got a warrant. And I go, what? Okay, so they took me in, they ran everything, they held me for 3 days, and they let me loose. There was no new charges or nothing.
What's he wanted for?
It's domestic violence.
In Florida, he's wanted for a couple different warrants on bond revocation for domestic battery by strangulation, violation of pretrial for domestic battery, violation of pretrial for domestic battery by strangulation.
This is where things suddenly get a lot more serious. The court learns that the warrant out of Florida isn't just a minor issue. It involves domestic battery and strangulation charges. Allegations like that instantly raise the stakes in a bail hearing because judges have to think about public safety first.
Failure to appear for domestic battery, strangulation, and grant that.
That was back in
And it's been open for
12 years.
and you still won't go back?
No, we were going to go back. That was the whole thing. I was in
The
Florida.
only thing I'm waiting for you to say is that you were abducted by aliens that prevented you from.
I'm not going to lie to you, sir, but we were going back. When COVID hit, actually, I was in Florida. That's where we went from Michigan to Tennessee, then Tennessee down to Florida during the pre-COVID. And we were in, I think, Pensacola. And we were there for like 3 months, and we were waiting for the COVID to stop, but it just didn't end. So I ended up talking to a gentleman that had plenty of work for me across the country to go to all of his hotel properties to fix them and find out why they were failing, why were they not making any money, and what was going on. So that's what I've been doing.
Does Florida really want him? Are they going to come get him? Are we just playing games here? You know, because if they really want to get him, I'm going to hold him. But if they're not going to come get him, then I'm not going to hold him. We have enough people in our jail as it is. So let's do this.
And here comes the twist. The judge isn't just focused on the past, he wants to know one simple thing. Is Florida actually going to extradite him? If they don't plan to come get him, keeping him locked up might not make sense. So the court decides to pause everything until tomorrow to find out, and that answer could determine whether Mr. Jones walks free or stays behind bars.
The problem is, Mr. Nelson, you don't learn your lesson. You've repeatedly been arrested on this charge, and they've told you to go back, and you refuse to go back. So I can't, in good conscience, give you a bond when you refuse to comply with
Sure.
court orders.
I understand
You
that.
just don't want to do it. You want to do what you want to do. And then,
No.
hey, if I happen to get arrested, they're not going to come get me anyways. So
No, I don't say that at all.
you don't say it,
Right.
but your actions say
I
something
understand.
different.
I understand that. I do.
When people tell me stuff, it goes in this year, it goes in, what
I know.
matters are actions.
I understand.
So
With regards to Florida, I'm happy to check up on that. He does also have other warrants from other states. He has a probation violation from Michigan and also intimidation.
They're not coming.
scotching with states, man.
Oh, they already told the jail, they already made the call, they're not coming, they don't want nothing to do with me. That's already been
They don't
determined.
have a hold file right now, but he does have the other warrants.
And those are from 2009. And I served my time on all of it, but it's just,
So
I
let's do
understand.
this. Let's roll it to tomorrow. Please reach out to Florida and see, do you really want him? If you do, here he is. If not, can we, really?
We'll do that tomorrow.
thank you so much, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Nelson.
Hey, I love your show.
I don't have a show.
I watch on.
I like you too.
Okay.
Superstar.